and the All Indiana Podcast Network. This is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Jenkins, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 Podcast for Tuesday, November 5th. It is Election Day, and with many of you looking to cast your ballots, we begin with a look at the polling places across central Indiana. In Marion County, voters have been lined up at the Election Board Service Center since polls opened this morning. News 8's Hernan Gutierrez reports.
Compared to last election, about 3,700 more people voted in person early this year. In total, about 170,000 people voted that early. That includes the mail-in ballots, those in-person ballots that I mentioned, also some military ballots. Here to tell us a little bit about what all is going on today is Marion County Clerk Kate Sweeney Bell. And Kate, let's start with all of those mail-in ballots, all of that early voting. All of that is when do you guys start processing all of that stuff, and how does that look like for today?
That starts today, and we will work until it's done, or all of the people say, I've had enough, I'm going home, I'm going to sleep. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's certainly a possibility. So those ballots are here, and they will be counted and added to the totals of the people who are voting at one of our 186 early vote centers this morning. The polls just opened.
So as the person who kind of oversees elections here in Marion County, how, I don't know if exciting is the right word, is it to see that early vote count is up from the last presidential election?
It's something that we expected. 2020 was an anomaly because of the pandemic, so we expected that number to be, if not the same, higher, and we did see just a slight uptick. So we understand what the work is, and we're ready to do it.
Okay, thank you so much for your time this morning. Again, if you live in Marion County, you can vote at any of the 186 voting centers that Kate Sweeney Bell mentioned. If you have any questions on where that is, we already have some information up on our website, wishtv.com. All you need to do is bring your photo ID to be able to vote. Polls are open, as we mentioned, and you can vote until 6 p.m. If you are in line at 6 p.m., you can still cast your ballot. Reporting in Indianapolis, I'm Hernan Gutierrez for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
In Hamilton County, thousands of voters have headed out to the election office in Noblesville. News 8's Brittany Noble reports.
Election officials tell us that so far, more than 100,000 people have filed early votes so far this election season. More than 50 people stood outside this building earlier this morning before the doors opened so that they could vote this morning. And we did speak with one person who was here. He was first in line, and he actually was turned away. He was not allowed to vote this morning. He was at the wrong polling location, so know where you are supposed to vote today. Also prepare to vote by wearing comfortable shoes and taking a look at the sample ballot online here in Hamilton County. A key seat is up for grabs. House District 39 incumbent Gerald Torrey retired, and voters will need to decide who will succeed him. Candidates tell us that they are encouraged by the amount of voters that have turned out so far for this election. Again, the polls are open till 6 o'clock p.m. If you are in line, even when the poll closes, you are still entitled to vote as long as you have your valid ID. Stick with us. We will have all the updates you need. Britt Noble for Wish TV, wishtv.com. Follow us on Facebook for updates.
When it comes to the Delphi Murders trial, we are coming off of day 15, where the focus was put on Ricard Allen's mental health and the treatment he received in jail. News 8's Kyla Russell has a recap of the key moments.
Ricard Allen's sister and his daughter Brittany were asked a similar set of questions by defense attorney Jennifer Auger. Their answers were similar too. They were first asked if Ricard Allen molested them or touched them inappropriately. They both said no. They were also asked if they would lie for him. They both also said no. His daughter made a quick glance at him at the start of her testimony, but did not acknowledge him otherwise. She was teary-eyed most of the time. Brad Weber again took the stand after he was subpoenaed by the defense while testifying for the state last week. His testimony centered on his whereabouts the day the girls died. He first told investigators he didn't go straight home from work that day. Now he's saying he did. He also said he would have driven under the Monon High Bridge that day. Allen referenced a van driving by in one of his reported confessions to his prison psychologist. Weber said he was driving his van that day. The jury also heard from a neuropsychologist who was paid for by the defense to evaluate Ricard Allen right after the peak of his mental health crisis last year. She had a couple main conclusions. First, she laid the groundwork, saying Allen had a history of extensive mental health struggles that started while he was in grade school. She said he was not faking his psychotic symptoms and made his confessions while in a state of psychosis. She also spoke about him having dependent personality disorder and an extreme attachment to his wife. She felt his time in solitary confinement exasperated his symptoms. The jury also saw video of his time inside of Westville, this time from inside of his cell. That video was turned away from the gallery again. Now, during that video, jurors seemed engaged and taking notes, many of them, again, raising their eyebrows. Reporting here in Delphi, I'm Kyla Russell for Wish TV. WishTV.com or follow us on Facebook for updates.
Let's talk sports. The Fever has officially welcomed Stephanie White back to the team. The former Indiana Miss Basketball from West Lebanon and ex-Purdue star played for the Fever and was the head coach in 2015 and 2016. Star players Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston were among those watching White's introduction to reporters, and the coach says she is ready to get to work.
The opportunity to come home and to lead this young, exciting, talented team. When you think about the Indiana Fever and the Indiana Pacers, and what I have always loved from day one of this franchise is that they are spoken equally.
White spent the past 2 seasons as head coach of the Connecticut Sun. And now let's talk weather. Storm Track 8 says pack the umbrellas as you head to the polls. There will be some scattered storms in addition to the warm and windy conditions today. Meteorologist Marcus Bailey has your News 8 Daily 8 forecast.
Let's walk you through where we're at right now. Storm Tracker, just some very isolated blips on radar. Very light rain right now around the Avon area, Zionsville. You see some showers up around Grant County there. All of this is moving to the east. This is going to be enough to get the windshield wipers moving, but shouldn't be too problematic if you do have to wait outside, as the polls have been open now for almost about a half an hour, mid-60s. Currently around central Indiana, that's running about 10 degrees above our average high temperature for this time of year. Wind speeds, these are constant, sustained winds, nearly 20 miles per hour here in Indy. We've seen gusts as high as 30 miles per hour. I think we peak by mid-afternoon with gusts potentially pushing close to 40 miles per hour. Everything will be coming out of the south, at least until this cold front moves through, which likely doesn't happen until mid-evening. 64 at 8 o'clock, 71 at noon. I'm going to go with a high of 74 later today. I'm going to leave the bulk of the day dry if you're going to be heading to the polls, whether it be now or at lunchtime. You might have slightly better rain opportunities if you're heading to vote after work for this afternoon, so just keep that in mind. 74, we will be on record watch. The record for today is 76, set back in 2015. Coming up, we're going to talk more about the rain timetable here. Really think our better chances are going to start coming in later on tonight with this cold front and this line of showers and thunderstorms. It's also going to bring some cooler conditions for the rest of the week. We'll time that out in my Storm Track 8 forecast in just a few minutes.
To get a look at Marcus Bailey's full forecast, just head over to wishtv.com, or you can download the Wish TV Storm Track 8 app. And don't forget to check out our Storm Track 8 weather blogs. And we wrap things up with a story to brighten up your day. The Indiana State Fairgrounds has announced that the Christmas Nights of Lights is making a comeback. This year, they're debuting a new cosmic walk of lights, a life-size nativity scene, Candyland, and a giant American flag. Tickets start at about $35 per car, and online reservations are required. This special event will run from 6 to 10 each evening, kicking off on November 8th and continuing all the way through New Year's Eve. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 podcast for Tuesday, November 5th. I'm Jeremy Jenkins for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.